So day 15 begins the third week, and the third week is actually beginning with a different set of anchor questions. And so the anchor questions change. And by anchor, it's the morning question that you always answer, and then the evening question that you answer or contemplate. And so the morning question today, how does life want to move through me today? So how does life want to move through me? It wants me to be considerate of my own humanity and considerate of the humanity of others in everything that I do. Night, one line, where did I live as my true self today? Day 15, the concept is authoritylessness. It's a big word, but I love it. Authoritylessness, the theme, no one outranks your soul. Where do I still unconsciously look for permission? The action today, do one small thing simply because you choose it. Something you used to wait for approval to attempt. Creative, expressive, relational, practical, integration. Feel the freedom in authoring your life directly. Feel the freedom in authoring your life directly. There's no person on earth who outranks your soul. Where do I consciously look for permission? So for me, permission and approval are the same thing. I think the conundrum in the question for me was the word unconscious. Because obviously if it's unconscious, then I'm not aware of it. But a conversation I had this evening with a colleague and friend of mine was about, he had a chance to look at a few of these, day 1 through 15 videos. And he immediately started to walk through, these are the things that you need to do. He first said he was personally inspired, and there were things that he was personally taking from it that were good for him. The next thing was he knew there were other people who needed to get access to hear this, to see this, and he was looking for me to hurry up and essentially put this stuff out and make it available. But he was also very clear, there's a way that you could go about doing this where you have a significant call to action at the end of these conversations. He's like, you're doing these daily reflections, but you're not giving people anything to do when it's done. And so I want to talk about both sides of that, right? So on the not giving people anything to do, well, of course, this is a sincere reflection on my day. I feel like I'm great at inception. I'm blessed with incredible vision, and I could see the future. I understand how disparate things actually come together to make a whole. I understand how to build things that are magical, inspirational, and magnetic. And so the product piece of it is something that I'm very comfortable with. Now, packaging the product and breaking the product down into bite-sized pieces so that it is it's palatable and essentially having individual experiences that have monetary value or commercial value attached to them is not my lane or forte per se. And so it was really good to plug into him because he started to break down specifically based on everything he already knew about the business. He's also one who's actually a student of one of the classes in the past and has been able to implement bits and pieces of the class that he's taken into other things that he's been able to be incredibly successful at as well. In multiple aspects of his business, he's been able to do this. And so he's very familiar with the idea, but he's also very familiar with monetizing things. And so I sat rather uncomfortably, actually, through him walking me through, this is specifically what you need to do next. These are the steps that you need to take. And it wasn't uncomfortable because I didn't want to hear it. It was uncomfortable because in the moment, I think I was kind of still waiting to finish the full 30 days. And in this case, maybe unconsciously seeking permission from the completion of the process and some sort of validation that I would get at the end of the 30 days to then be, feel comfortable and ready to now offer this gift into the world and start selling. And one of the things he pushed for was, You need to start thinking quickly about chopping up bits and pieces of some of your content, making it available with clear calls to action, and starting to let people know specifically how you can help them using this model. Maybe that's actually where I was still looking for permission. And to some extent, his feedback was the validation or the permission that I needed, that I might have been seeking or looking for. Yeah. So there we go. We just resolved it where I've been unconsciously seeking permission. And I tell you what, this 15-day, journey, it isn't always good because, I'm realizing things that I continue to do in real time. And it's also new for me not to judge myself, not to feel like, man, I made that mistake again. It was right under my nose. Like I should seek approval and permission without just owning the fact that I do know what I know. And there's no need to give any proof points or even impact statements or, hey, I did this 15 times before, and take a look at the depth of my bio to know just how good at this I am. Just sort of not even needing to lean on or lead with the biography of accomplishments, but to lead with my confidence and willingness to listen and help solve a problem, and to be there to implement things that I know will help change people's lives or change people's organizations, change people's inputs on a daily basis, to deliberately build a system and a business that becomes food hidden in the medicine, that we're able to bring very practical problem solving and lifestyle stuff into the way that people behave and interact and work every day, in such a way that it's raising their consciousness without them having to deliberately know that they're raising their consciousness, and shifting the nature of the culture of an organization to such that it's so much more productive and the people are more together as a team without them knowing, hey, we're doing a team building. Like, oh man, my years in corporate and all of the forced team buildings. To me, there's always been no better way to ensure that we're not a team than to force us to do team building. Anyway, where did I live as my true self today?
Oh, you're recording yourself.
I am recording. It's okay though.
Hi, Daddy.
All right, here, let me make sure you get this. Thank you for blowing me the kisses. I love you. I forgot what the last thing I said was. I just took a break. I forgot what the last thing I said was. My daughter walked in and I had to do something for her. And then, after the I love yous and the kisses or what have you, I'm just kind of lost in that moment. And so, my notes, here we go. I had a conversation with someone who's incredibly talented in multiple areas of life today. And we were talking about me helping him get access to people in multiple municipalities for his product. In my conversation with him, he asked me, so what else are you working on and how can I help you? And I said, I don't know if I have an ask for you today or how what I need help with right now. But I told him what I'm building with Key to Everything, and everything about the system, and how I feel like the most important thing that we could be building and working on in the coming years is to recognize that every technology, every product of any kind, everything, all of this stuff exists. Everything that we build exists to help humans thrive and to live better. And that I want to build a focus back on that. And I talked about the media content, the multiple channels, the TV series, the video series, the music, a lot of things from the media perspective, the digital and immersive experiences, the in-person experiences, events, the conferences, the summits, the retreats, the wellness retreats, and then the idea of being able to house the homeless as a result of building all of the retreats. I kind of gave him just a real breakdown, and he was just like, what you're doing actually matters, and I'll help in any way that I can. And, being able to talk about it and just talk through it. Like I wasn't performing in the moment for him. I wasn't trying to look for a specific ask in a way to try to figure out how I could transact with him beyond, answering his question. And even in answering his question, it was just life moving through me, because it's me really going after this, like actually fixing and working on and studying myself, and then being able to take all of those lessons that have helped me to be successful, but more than that, to be comfortable in my skin and in full knowledge of who I am and what I am and whose I am and how I am, and knowing that I am limitless, and being able to not just motivate people around that concept, but to give them a step-by-step system and a set of tools and techniques and technologies that help them to be limitless in all of their human endeavors, whether that be in their business and professional endeavors in life, their athletic and entertainment endeavors, or just how they engage in, doing life with other human beings, their personal relationships, their romantic relationships. And that was a clear moment where I just let life, where I just lived as my true self today, and let life flow through me. That's it. Key to Everything, day 15. I don't know why I felt so disjointed recording this today. That just led me back to something. Early on in this process, I knew that I would hit a point where it would feel like this. And I knew that I'd already set the intention that when I got to this point, to remember that I had already known that when you hit this point, it's time for you to start to act and like turn this into the business. Like you're ready, you're reset. And it only took the first couple weeks, but it is, to my friend's point tonight, it is time to do something. So I guess the next few days is going to be me chronicling what it was I chose to do and what steps I took to actually set this stuff in motion. My name is Rashad Howard, and this is the Key to Everything.